Another time for tutorials. I'm gonna do a tutorial on this jacket, something similar to this. But first I must warn that a jacket is something really complex, and I'm not going to teach this design using the approach of a jacket. I'm just going to use a traditional gown as a reference to manipulate and get something close to this design. I am also assuming that you know how to draft a traditional gown. You should do this on a pattern. This is your pattern paper, though it's small. I will place this on a fold because subsequently I'm going to use it to show you something at the end. Okay, now on your pattern paper we're going to leave some amount of fabric before the draft starts, and it's for the overlap. There's an overlap here, and the overlap requires some quantity of fabric, usually between 2 inch and 3 inch. If you are using 2 inch, then the overlap at the end of the day will be 4 inch. If you're using 3 inch, then the overlap at the end of the day will be 6 inches. Okay, so you can let's say leave a 2.5 inch, and then you are also going to leave a space for some manipulations that we'll do. I'm going to show you shortly. Okay, usually we call it the difference allowance. Now difference allowance are usually calculated, but I wouldn't want to bug you with so much calculation, so I'm going to just ignore that and give you a range. In fact, it depends. If it's a child, it could be around ½ inch, and some adults, difference allowance could be up to 3 inches. But for this one, I'm going to use 1.5 inch. Just leave up 1.5 inch here. Now we're going to do line. This second line that I've drawn is now assumed to be the center line of your body. So every measurement will start from here. You're going to use this to draft your traditional gown. Now I must warn that the armpit curve of a traditional gown is different from that of a jacket. If this line is parallel to this line, and then we're able to locate our armpit depths. For an adult, I would suggest 8.5 inch from the shoulder fall. That's from this point. There are some mathematics that surrounds all that. I don't want to bug you with a lot of calculations, like I said earlier. Now, the curve intensifies from the beginning, and then the intensity drops as though it is falling parallel to. These are a reference line, but not exactly parallel, and it keeps that format until you must have come close to your armpit depth, and then there's a very, very sharp curve, and then it comes down straight this way, and then you have your bust measurements. You continue doing your draft like your traditional gown. You go down to the waist level, and then now your hips level. And after the hips level, according to the jackets, every other thing fell down straight, so you have a box flare over there. Now assuming that this is the bodies of your traditional gown, you're going to do some manipulations. First, get your nipple span around the bust, and then draw a reference line downward, and then it should bend towards the middle of the shoulder. It can just go anywhere. Okay, now from your upper bust, you can make a shoulder dart, which should be around 1 inch, just like that. This place is going to be cut out. So if we cut this out, it's going to reduce from the volume of the shoulder. So because it's reduced from the volume of the shoulder, we're going to add it here, and then maintain a curve on this side that is similar to this. Now that's for the shoulder dart. Now we're going to put a dart on the waist. That's from somewhere just below, a little bit below the bust, down to the waist. So if this is your waist level, we're just going to put a dart, which should just be about 1.5 inch wide. And then every other thing as concerning this dart should be parallel to our reference line. Coming downward, this line should be parallel. We are going to cut this out. Now because we're cutting this out, it will reduce the size of the body, so we're going to shift this, okay, this time around not to this side but to the front. At this point, what we cut out is just 0, so we're not adding anything here. The maximum here should be about 1.52 depending on the difference allowance of the individual. So we're going to just take this down. So what we're removing here, we're going to add here. It would actually mean that at the end, this very line will tilt and become parallel to this one, which I'll show you subsequently. Okay, but before then, let's construct the neck. Now the neck of jackets could be cut rounded, but I usually prefer to do what I'm about to show you. Before you do that, you need to locate where you want the opening to start. According to this one, it's just a little bit above the bust, and if this is a bust, just a little bit above it is where that opening started. Okay, so we're going to draw a straight line connecting this point and this point. And then you might want to extend it down. Now, from the root of the neck on the shoulder, I usually measure about 2 inches downwards on this line, and then rule another line that is perpendicular to any of these lines. So this area is what we are going to use to construct the flap. This is the collar, there's a collar here, and this is a flap. If we're going to use this area to manipulate the flaps, remember that this quantity was left to be used as an overlap, but we have not exhausted this quantity, the total quantity, based on our DATS allowance that we have here. So we're just going to remeasure what we left for the overlap and take it here. This is 2, and then this is 2. We'll just roll that up. This new line that I just drew is actually a tilt of the edge of our fabric. So if you check, you would have noticed that this line intersects with this line at this point. So the opening of the neck will be at this point. Every other fabric here will be overlapping themselves. I want to draw the flap. It may look awkward here, but you will understand when I fold it at the end. According to the size I'm seeing here, the thickness of this should be about 3.5 inches. Let me just estimate, since I actually didn't measure and then I'm drawing a curve. So it's coming this way. Now the actual fold of the flap is not on this line. It's about ½ inch away from it. That's about here. That's where you get the actual fold. So to demonstrate how this works, I'm going to first of all cut out the bodies without affecting the darts. Now, at least I forget, in a jacket, this darts doesn't run from the top to the bottom. There's a manipulation that's being done that will cause the darts to stop here, and then it will be transferred to the side. Okay, but this one I just transferred the whole thing to the front because I'm giving you a shortcut which will still work. Let's cut this out and cut this out. This is not looking proportionate, so I may have to reduce it. It's not looking proportionate. Okay, it's almost looking proportionate. It's almost looking proportionate. Let me reduce it. It's not looking proportionate to the body. So this is just gonna come this way. That's for one. So if we take out this one and then fold this one the other way and then locate our center line, this is where we set it to overlap around the bust. Okay, so if I punch a hole there and then try to bring this together, you'll have something like this. Okay, so while that's been done, remember that you are going to cut out that, and also you're going to cut out that. So this, if you're finding it difficult to do measurements, you can assume that this small piece that I cut out here, let's come and tape it here, and you get the same effect. While this one that was removed was taped here, and whatever we got was transferred to the front. Or you can simply come and tape it in the front, although I have already done the taping in the sketches. Okay, so once you're done doing this, you now transfer this pattern to the fabric and cut, adding your sewing allowances. Now note that I cut 2, not really because I have to cut 2. I did this just to show you how the overlapping would work. Okay, the back piece, you would have cut the back piece the way you normally cut back piece for traditional gown, using the center front line, which is this line, as a reference line for the center back line. That way the overlapping would work well and you won't have any problems. And I am just hoping that this illustration is easy for you. But meanwhile, make sure you let me know whether you understand what I just explained or not. Thank you very much.